to my channel, TMNJ. My name is Taras Johnson. This video. Give me a second. Yeah, I just woke up. I have this thing where I wake up and I continuously go back to sleep until I feel like I'm actually awake. Until I feel like I'm ready to get up. So I'm still waking up. I was gonna make this video. I love my sleep. I know you guys love your sleep, right? I love my sleep. I love my sleep. It's precious to me. I once told my ex, I was like, I don't care. You could be naked trying to screw me. I will literally look at you if you're on top of me, and I will straight up just be like, okay, and go right back to sleep. My sleep is important. I learned that line was BS when I had my first actual partner that got sexual with me. I learned that line was BS. Okay. So this video is speaking about depression, with death, and the whole concept of death in general. Okay, Alright, that's better. I think it is. I couldn't tell you. See, it make my hair nice and pretty, but screw that. I like to be natural about it. Right? I don't have to be on that movie star crap that's okay, gotta, brush my hair out. No. I'm good. If it looks like this, it looks like this. It's all natural. But basically, towards death. Death is never the end. Alright, in my previous video, speaking about the spirit guides, I spoke on the concept of, your soul leaves your body and does whatever the hell it wants. Bloody hell. Right? But the thing, hold up. I can't tell if that's just the lighting or if that's just my actual face. It looks so red. The thing is, hold up, my guy just sit up straight. And I'm just I don't really want to, but all my crystals I crystals under my pillow. I sleep for my dreams and all. But basically, so I'm looking at this now, hold up a second, I don't mean to get off topic. There's so much snow, and it's still snowing. I don't think you guys can see it. Hold up, maybe I can. Now you guys can see it. It's still snowing. I'm just what the hell? Don't mind my room. Alright, I'm waking up now. But basically, when it comes to death, it's never the end. This video was hard for me to make, honestly. I was pondering, I was gonna make it. I was thinking about it for a while, about making it. Because it's not easy for me to speak on. It really is not. I'm not gonna lie, it's not. It's difficult. when I was going through my awakening, guys, well, I'm trembling inside. It still is difficult for me to speak about. That's beautiful. Um, I spoke of one of my guides, right, in the other video, coming to me and speaking with me. I think I did at least. Um, During my awakening, making me having me comprehend that, like, hey, like, death really isn't the end. Like, when you leave your body, like when your physical body dies, it's never the end. So this is a story about the concept of understanding that death isn't the end, but suicide isn't the most beautiful thing ever. Well, isn't beautiful either. But I did not mean to say that isn't one of the most beautiful things ever. But I don't even know how that came out of my mouth. But basically, I had a friend. I had a friend, best friend. It was when I was with my ex. Back when I was 16. I think in the middle of my 16th year. And I was like, all right, cool, right? I think we would talk all the time. All the time. We started through through Snapchat. We just snap each other literally all the time. All the time. I'd be in class and we just snap each other all the time and just converse. Like, we barely texted, like, through like regular chat. We just texted through sending each other snaps back and forth. And at first it was streaks, and I was like, let me get to know her, right? And she was such an interesting individual too. We just resonated like that. Give me a second. It's not easy to talk about. It's not. I'll be honest, it's not. Um, and I didn't really speak to people like that at the time, mind you. I didn't really have friends like that at the time. I truly did not. If like me going through high school was tough, but it was like we just clicked, like just like that. It was like unbelievable. Um, like usually, what I would have thought, like, if we're just gonna snap back and forth, that was just gonna be like that, like that stupid crap, right? That's like you guys snap back and forth, never become friends, and ever get really close. We got so close. And what happened? I remember my ex and being with my ex for a period, and I'd always go to her for advice. And she went to me for advice. I literally explained what depression was to her. Hold up. So I have like a shirt next to me. And like she just understood me like no one else, which was it. Like she was like she was family. Like, we weren't even like family, but she was family to me. And because I remember her boyfriend didn't really comprehend depression like that. He didn't get it. I understood it, vividly. Like, we went through it, but still, like, we just had that amazing friendship still. And it was the funny part because one of my close friends ended up being like one of her best friends too. And I was like, oh, that's so dope. um, oh, I love when this happens when I get emotional and then my nose starts running. But yeah, and whenever she was just that person I'd rant to and speak on things towards when me and my ex would just be on BS. That was the issue actually towards my ex. She was like, "Why you speak to these other girls?" And I'm just like, "Because when you are on bullshit, I rant to them about you. Because if I ran to you, it's gonna start a whole bigger problem than it already started. Because you just can't deal with my emotions like that, or deal with the concept of understanding that you're toxic half the bloody time." So yeah, that was something to comprehend. Um, and me and her we spoke, like, even though me and my ex were like inseparable, we spoke like all the time. Like, there was no way, like, as insecure as my ex was, as insecure as she was, there was no, that friend of mine she was that one friend that no matter what anyone did, no matter what my ex did, no matter if she was like, block her, I would look at her like, I'm going to break up with you if you tell me to block her. Straight up. Like, you can't. Sorry, that's not gonna happen. Look at my body shaking now. um, so after a time, I she was really depressed. I was like, just talk to me about it. And she was like, "Oh, like, I'm gonna smoke. I'm gonna have to smoke my older brother. I'll talk to you about it soon." I was like, "All right, cool. I got you. I understand." Because I was always there for her. She was there for me. She was literally my sister. I keep repeating myself because I don't want to say like, because like, she was my sis in the end. Like, my grandmother would say, she's not your blood, and I'm just like, that doesn't fucking matter. See, I'm getting emotional when I start cursing. um, and I don't like. I will never encourage cursing. It's not healthy. But yeah. Um, and my at the end of me and my ex's relationship, my phone just I think it broke or something. Yeah, it broke. Yeah, because at the end of it, I was speaking to her about things, about me and her breakup. Rather, not her breakup. I was speaking to her about sorry, I'm not trying to remember. About how stupid my ex was being about something. Because she asked me a question that really upset me. My body is tensing up. I can feel it. This is the one thing I like struggle to talk about all the time. Um, And we didn't after that we didn't talk for a time because my phone had broken and I had to get a new phone, and it didn't happen for like a few months. So me and my older brother were using my little brother's phone for a time because my older brother's phone, I think, he used to work construction, and he lost in construction, and then my phone had cracks, and he apparently wasn't aware of the cracks, and I just was like, how can you not be? They're very seeable. Like, how can you not see a crack in a phone? It's very visible. And so it was raining one day, and of course, the rain, the water just cracking, the phone just is destroyed. And I just paused and was like, bro, why? Like, it just, I was like, no. Like, I had a feeling. I was like, I shouldn't give my phone to my brother today. Something bad's gonna happen. And I was right. um, a few months later, I get a new phone. And she's the first person I text. First person. Not my mother, not my friends, not my grandmother, her. First person I text, first person I try calling. And sorry, I want to look at the camera while talking about this, but it's sometimes I'm trying to remember things. I look off into the distance, just look at something else and just stare at something for whatever period of time, even if that's something that doesn't have relevance. Um, but yeah, I kept texting, kept trying to call, and just was saying like this number's out of service or like something like that. And I was like, what's going on? I was like, I started to get mad. Like, did she block me or something? What's happening? Did she get a new number? I don't know what's going on. And then I'm like, let me, because I remembered her snap. I remembered her Snapchat username. I remembered it. I was like, let me. I was like, this. Like, I remember the exact thing. And mind you, for me to remember someone's exact Snapchat username, that tells your connection was like that. Um, so my body's so tense, like it's getting so tense. But then because I just such anger. Like I was like, we were best friends. What happened? Like, you know, like no response. Like even if it was a couple months that had gone by, if I like texted her or called her, she would have answered immediately. So I'm going through like my awakening, of course. Given like I'm depressed for me, my ex broken up, and like I was like she was just the person I went to, and what I I was in the shower one day, because this back I used to do pendulum readings a lot, and I was like, wait a second, I can just do pendulum reading like this, and I had a specific question I was asked. And mind you, you know you're intuitive and you know things before like really knowing something when like you ask a certain question, and this concept of a hand of why are you asking that certain question, like you know it's the truth, and you're not, and you're trying to like stray away from the truth. So I don't know how late it was, but I was like, is she dead? Took my pendulum off me and asked, and just neutral. My mind cleared out. The answer, yes. Drink some water real quick. um, Excuse me. And I asked another question. Something was towards her partner. And I was like, is her boyfriend dead? The answer was yes. And at that point, I fucking lost it. I called a friend of mine, and he was just so unsupportive. Like, I just looked at him, was like, bro, you are like the most emotionally insensitive person I fucking met. Like, while I'm crying, he just was saying crap to me that I'm like, why did I call you for? I'm just like, I thought you'd like, be supporting and say it's gonna be all right and just release it. He was just like, I just was like, this is not what I want to fucking hear. Like, what kind of bullshit? And we got off the phone, and I'd gone to work the next day, and I just was contemplating things like, this can't be real. Like, my heart really was just, me and my ex breaking up. I could take that blow. It hurt me a lot, but I could take that blow. My best friend being dead was something I couldn't take. I asked the pendulum, I said, did she kill herself? The answer was yes. Now again, it's interesting when you ask these specific questions. And you already know the answer to them. So you're just asking for confirmation practically. And my intuitive ass knew the answers. I just didn't want to believe my own self, my own abilities. I didn't want to believe it. I went to work, I dealt with school. I nearly had mental breakdowns back and forth. Like, I honestly do not think you should go to work ever when you're like dealing with such stuff. But you're like they just like, I'm sorry, they just don't speak on these things about you not going into work for a time. They just say, suck it up, which is the worst thing in the US in my perspective. And I think in the UK too. Like, I'm sorry, both like these, like, we really need to develop better means of just aiding people in dealing with suicide, because it's just tragic. Um, so yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna think about it. And then one day after school, online, given because COVID was a huge thing, I just lost it. And but it was interesting because the day before that, my mom was picking me up from work. I My dad was asking me like, "What's up?" And I told him what was going on. And this motherfucker made it about himself. I've never met such a narcissistic, self-centered individual whom his way of giving me support was making my friend's death about himself. And I just paused, like, how insensitive can you be? And I was speaking about things, and I was like, my mother and my dad, I'm like, you guys don't even know her, so don't fucking talk about her. And what happened? My dad was trying to say something about her, and I was like, don't talk about her ever again. Don't even try it. And the tone I used towards him, he got silent so fast. Like he knew, he knew he stepped out of line. He knew it. And I just was like, do not, you do not want to see what happens when I get mad. You don't. And he just was like his energy was like, my apologies, I didn't mean it. And he just walked out the car. I'm surprised my mother didn't stop him. But then again, my mother's always been towards my dad. Submissive little. I am not gonna continue that line. Because that's just me going back into that time zone. Um, but basically, after that, after dealing with school, I just had a mental breakdown, and I just was like, I lost the biggest, most important people in my life. Like, she was more important than my mother, my grandmother, than a lot of my family. No, than all of my family. Like, to lose someone that you cherish that heavily. Like, I got my phone, my new phone, and she's the first person I text, the first person I contact. That shows just the connection, the bond. Like, and as I'm crying, just losing it, my mother despises crying. Like, she literally is against it so heavily. Why? Because she got with a dude who was so emotionally traumatized. He told her crying is weakness. That's the guy my mom got with. And so ever since then, she just says to transmute the energy, and like she just is against crying heavily. And I'm just like, what the hell is wrong with you? And she's trying to take me outside. And before that, I'm like washing my face off, still crying in agony. And I hear a voice in my head. Pure speech, pure communication. Saying, bro, it's okay. It's okay, I'm here. I'm right here. It's okay, it's alright. I appreciate you for being there for me, for being like family, for being my brother. You were like my older brother. And you understood me when no one did. That that hit me. And I was still crying, of course, and I just paused. It's not easy. Trying to hold back the tears so heavily. It's not easy to I understand the concept of death. I understand it deeper in depth now, but it's not easy to lose someone you care about. It's not. Um, she just kept on speaking to me. And I I thought I was losing it. I wasn't. She just kept on talking to me. Kept on talking to me. And by the time I got outside, and I was out and I was barefoot, I think, trying to touch the tree and transmute the energy. My mother was so focused on me touching the tree. And she was just so focused, and I'm like, have you not noticed I stopped crying? Like, what's your issue? So I'm like thinking back, and it's like, I'm like looking back towards how my mother handled the situation, which was horrible. Like, no hug, no, like, I'm there for you, just cry it out. Like, I'm here for you, just cry it out. None of that. Like, I'm just like you would expected like your mother to just, hug you and tell you it's gonna be okay, and I'm here and hold you. No, my mother did not do any of that, which honestly kind of makes me infuriated. But you can't help how your parents handle certain things because that's just what they know. Um, Even if it doesn't help you emotionally. But my sis told me that she was not one of my guides, and that though she did kill herself when she was human, given her parents didn't even understand her either. I just was like, what the hell? Um, you told me exactly how it all went down too. I could see it and see like me being a cautious individual. I was like, let me try to like see your Instagram, make sure I'm not losing it. I couldn't see her Instagram or her Facebook or any of that. It was just like all dead ends, and I just was like, she said to me like, Tarash, you have to accept the reality of it. I've left your world. I'm no longer part of the human world. And even to this day, no matter how much I awaken and evolve, no matter how many months I go through, it still hurts. still hurts. I can't speak about the whole thing without crying. I might end up crying like after this is done, by the way. Like, I'll be honest about that. But I learned at that point in time that death was never the end. It's never the end. It doesn't just stop there. Your soul has a choice of what it wants to do. She chose to be one of my guides, to guide me to the best of her ability. She was the first guide I ever came into communication with. And then I came across the other ones later on. Other peeps later on. And what made things even more obvious to me, given I showed my doubts, was that an ex-friend of mine, she was a tarot reader too. She went ahead and asked if she could like chat on my sis and speak to me through her. Well, speak to her and talk to me. And my sis spoke of things and said it's okay. I know you're sad, but it's okay. See, I'm always in the astral plane, but the physicalities of things still does matter sometimes to me. See, you see people go through it, but you never really know how it really truly genuinely feels unless you've gone through it. The heartbreak, the feeling of your literal world collapsing inside, your reality collapsing inside, in it itself, and like having to psychologically pick up the pieces and try to understand why things happen. I blamed myself for so long. I said, if I had just not broken, if my phone hadn't cracked, if I just spoke to her, all these different things, it wouldn't have happened. Like, I blamed myself for both of their deaths. And she just said, my boyfriend's death couldn't be helped. Well, ex-boyfriend's death, technically speaking, but boyfriend's death couldn't be helped. Then he did what he did for me. She said, I'm not saying that I'm proud of what happened, but at least I'm not in pain anymore. And at least I can still talk to you all the time as we used to. So yeah, when I comprehended these factors, it became very reassuring and very alleviating to hear and understand and comprehend. Actually, before this video, I went on TikTok, mind you, not for any sort of watching videos purpose, to check out a thing I'd written down and took a video of, and so on, and posted. And I saw a girl's name that was like the exact name that my friend had, well, my sis had when she was a human. And I like paused in my tracks and like immediately clicked on her, and I was like I was really looking at her face recognition, like really looking at her face, like, is that, could it be? And my sis was like, Taras, you know that's not me. You know I don't look like that. Come on now. And then I clicked on the video and I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely not her. Because I was like, that was my sister's body was a lot more beautiful. Not saying the girl's body wasn't nice, but like my sister was thicker. And I remember actually it was a moment in time where she took a snap of herself and I was like, damn. I was like, why are you so beautiful? Oh my God. I was like, your boyfriend's lucky. Mind you, I had my own partner, I think at the time too, but I still didn't care. She knew it was like not even me trying to be thirsty, that I was just being genuine about it. But yeah, that is my story about the concept of suicide, and it's never the end. Everyone's always a different reasoning or choice of what they want to do. If they want to become your guides, or if they want to just go on to reincarnate or to go somewhere else, it's always their choice. And sometimes you have the abilities like myself to be aware intuitively what's going on, or just see visions of what's happening. Other times you go to a tarot reader and you try to see what's popping, and you understand the truth, and it reassures you and really like aids you in healing. Other times you're just devastated for the rest of your life, and you can try to heal, but it's like damn near impossible, because you're still blaming yourself for that occurrence deep down inside, no matter how much you try to hide it within. So yeah, that was my story of suicide, of death. But it's not the end. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope the knowledge was great for you guys to understand, comprehend. I realize my videos are always really long and just informative to a certain degree, emotionally impacting, but informative as hell, which is lovely. With that being said, yeah, that was my video on death and suicide, and yeah. So that being said, I love you guys. Like, subscribe, comment. If you guys type in the comment section, I'll be sure to answer any and all things, or speak with you guys in converse and so on. With that being said, good night, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and goodbye until the next video, which will be in some time.